Hi everyone, travel addict guy here. I've got some new news regarding the crisis here in Spain. And Spain reopened on Sunday. No more curfews. They took away the travel restrictions as well, and that started last Sunday. It met with raucous approval, especially from young people. And you can see here in the corner of the screen in Madrid.
Vale. Whoa. Mira, todos los colombianos, mis paisanos. Let's check it out. Hola. ¿Esto es una fiesta de algún tipo?
De muchos tipos.
Vale, entonces, ¿de qué se trata? ¿Es su cumpleaños? Jesus, that was quite the scene. Woo! But like I said, Madrid is open and people are going to celebrate.
It was like old times, and people were not following the safety guidelines, and a lot of the leaders took notice about that, and they are unhappy of the situation. And after Isabel Ayuso was elected, she is the one that ran on the platform of reopening, and she received a resounding win in Madrid that has caused shockwaves throughout Spain. And some people are not happy about it. Some politicians, including Juanma Moreno, and he is the president of Andalusia. Junta's president calls for the return of night curfew powers. Juanma Moreno said he was alarmed by images he saw of the explosive mix of young people and alcohol during the weekend. Thousands of young people partied on the streets of Spain this weekend after the end of the country's night curfew, and the state of alarm was ended. The numbers reached such a magnitude that the Junta de Andalusia has already expressed its worry and fear about the situation. The gatherings were predictable. Young people had not gone out for months and they really wanted to. Well, I guess that is common sense there. Something we've been talking about before, and I've talked about that. If you lock people down, when they get out, they're gonna go crazy. And I talked about that in other videos, and that is exactly what happened on Sunday. Speaking this Monday at 10 a.m., he said this. This was always going to happen. It was common sense. Everyone expected it except the government of Spain, except Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, he said. So it sounds like he's taking a shot at Pedro Sanchez, the weekend Prime Minister. Moreno expressed his fear after seeing the explosive mix of young people and alcohol. Well, we already talked about that. So he wants those powers back to bring back the nightly curfews. He does not want people out there partying in the street like we had over last weekend. Here is some new information on the regulations. In Malaga, 6 indoors and 8 outdoors permitted in bars and restaurants in Malaga province from tomorrow. Shops, cinemas, theaters, and gyms will be able to fill up to 75% of their capacity, except in Almachar and Cuevas del Becerro. The state of alarm may be gone, but the Junta de Andalusia regional government remains in control. Well, we know that. They want control, and that's what it's all about. Control. You heard it right there. That is the word of a number of restrictions. And as of Thursday, May the 13th, new capacity limits will apply in shops, bars, restaurants, cinemas, and theaters. In Malaga province, which is practically all on a level 2 health alert, the number of people per table in bars or restaurants will increase to 6 people inside. That was previously 4 and 8 outside, previously 6. Bar service is also permitted again. Only when an area is put in level 1 can this increase to 8 inside and 10 outside. So once again, they're playing games with the regulations or with the numbers 6, 8, 10, 4. And as we saw over the weekend, young people are not going to follow those guidelines. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. It is a dilemma, and Juanma Moreno is not happy about the situation. Here is some news here regarding the target for the end of the pandemic in Spain. Spain's leading epidemiologist targets to the end of 2022 for the country to be COVID-free. Fernando Simón also said mass should remain mandatory until 70% of the population has been vaccinated. And so people were asking about that. When are they going to get rid of the mask? And there you go. They want 70% of the population or more to be vaccinated before they will start an easing of the mask. One of Spain's leading experts in the fight against the C-19 has expressed his hope that the country will have eliminated the virus by the end of 2022. So that is a little ways off, and that is what they are planning now. Fernando Simón, the director of the Coordination Center for Health Alerts and Emergencies, also said that wearing masks in public should remain compulsory until at least 70% of the Spanish population has been vaccinated. In a press conference, Simón said that although he is quietly confident, issues such as new variants of the virus could create future complications. Well, there's always that but, if, and. He remarked, "What's clear is that we don't know exactly what will happen." Wow, isn't that something? A politician that finally admitted his faults. We don't know exactly what is going to happen, and that is the truth, and that has been the situation from the beginning. They just don't know. So you can see I'm in the Plaza Merced behind me, and all of the beautiful trees here are in bloom. They're this beautiful purple hue. And you see these restaurants behind me, and there's not a lot of action for a Wednesday, and we are in the evening now. It's around 6:30 or 7, and there's not a lot of action here in the tapas bars. So I think it's been a lot more muted here than places like Barcelona or Madrid. We still don't have a lot of those foreign tourists. I do see some starting to come in now, but very few at this moment. Okay, this is a story I wanted to touch on here, and that is what Marbella is doing to fight activity we've been seeing. Marbella shuts its beaches between midnight and 6 a.m. to avoid the spread of the virus. The measure is part of the town's contingency plan to avoid drinking parties or activities that generate large groups of people. And that was common before. You would have groups of people go out on the beach at night, especially young people, and they would party and drink. And that was a pastime for the young people here in Spain, especially during the summer. As a preventative measure in the fight against the C-19, Marbella has announced it will close its beaches from midnight till 6 a.m. in an effort to discourage drinking parties and gatherings of large groups. Now that Spain's night curfew has ended, although the number of people affected by the virus in the town continues to drop, with a cumulative incidence rate of 150 cases per 100,000 inhabitants in 14 days, the health crisis is not over, and they are stressing that for sure. So the mayor, Ángeles Muñoz, has announced a contingency plan with the aim of guaranteeing a good summer season. She explained that the closure of the activity on the beaches has been planned in such a way that it coincides with the closing hours of the bars and restaurants, and has again appealed for people to behave responsibly. We are on the cusp of a summer that is looking good, and we cannot afford situations that lead to a rebound in the number of infections, she said. And there's a lot riding on this, and I'm sure the politicians know that, because right now in the UK, as you know, they have the amber light, and they want to go into the green category, and the UK is going to be reassessing Spain in a few weeks, and if they don't like what they see, it is going to be a lights out for this summer for the Britons coming to Spain. Here is an important update regarding British tourism here in Spain. The tourism minister says British tourists should be able to return to Spain from May the 20th without a PCR test. Wow, that is interesting news here. Speaking after the weekly cabinet meeting on Tuesday, Reyes Maroto pointed to the positive epidemiological data in the United Kingdom and expressed hopes that her country would soon be put on the green list of destinations. The Spanish Minister for Industry, Commerce and Tourism, Reyes Maroto, said on Tuesday that British tourists could begin to visit Spain once more from May 20th onward, provided that the authorities in the UK place the popular vacation destination on its virus green list of countries. Well, it sounds like speculation on her part, and of course she would want to promote her country. She is the tourism minister. Speaking at a press conference held after the weekly cabinet meeting, Maroto said, "We know what we have to do to allow British people to travel to Spain, which is to lower the cumulative incidence and keep on vaccinating." Well, I think that is the way out, and I've talked about that before. Keep on vaccinating the public. Statement comes ahead of the European Union's plans to relax restrictions on non-essential travel from countries outside of the EU, where the 14-day cumulative number of cases per 100,000 inhabitants is lower than 100. In the UK, the data currently stands at 48. Currently, Britons cannot travel to Spain unless for a series of exceptional reasons, and if they can take the journey, must present a negative PCR test on arrival in the country. Those returning from Spain to the UK, meanwhile, must also provide a negative test on arrival and quarantine for 10 days and take a 2 C19 home tests. Blah, 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 blah. Why not? What else are they gonna do? Wow, you might as well just take take some DNA, or what else are you gonna take? How about a right leg or a limb? Madre mia. So they need to get that straightened out, and she is being fortuitous, and she is hoping that the UK is gonna go ahead and reopen her country to the UK visitors, but that will be up to the UK government. So that's the latest headlines from Spain and Andalusia in particular. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Travel addict guy. Thanks to Adventure Elliot in Madrid for that footage from Madrid. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, everyone.